we finally get a sequel to the Avengers. The heroes are back, all together again for another adventure, and it ultimately just boils down to a climax that's basically exactly the same as the first movie. What up, my name is and welcome back to NimTV. I'm your host, NimTV299, and we're back with another movie review. This time we're reviewing Avengers: Age of Ultron, the second of the Avengers movies. And the reason why I'm reviewing this, and the other day I reviewed the first of the Avengers movies, is because Avengers: Infinity War is coming out, and that's the third one. And so I'm reviewing these two as in preparation for that movie, because that's supposed to be a big movie. You know, one of the biggest movies of the year and all that stuff. It'll probably be the highest grossing movie of the year, most likely, let's be honest. And yeah, so the last one I talked about how I really like that movie. I think it's basically a classic at this point. You have this nice story of a bunch of, heroes that we've seen in other movies finally coming together, and they fight a little bit, and their teaming up doesn't always work out until the end. They finally come together as a team and stop the villain, and it's fun and well written and just a good, fun, straightforward superhero movie. Lots of fun, good time. And then you get this movie, which tries to be that again, but fails on so many levels. I don't hate this movie, absolutely. I think it has some fun moments and some fun, quippy dialogue here and there that's like, yeah, that's fine, but it's bogged down by a bunch of random stuff that's kind of thrown in there for no reason. I mean, what the heck was that whole side plot with Thor? Why? He, leaves them for a while, goes to, what's-his-name, that scientist guy, to talk to him about stuff, and goes into a cave and learns something about the Infinity Stones. I don't know. It means nothing for this movie. And Hawkeye has a family for some reason, and Hulk and Black Widow are in love now. Okay. And then Nick Fury kind of shows up randomly. Where did he come from? I mean, he's Nick Fury, sure, but he just shows up at a random part, and you're like, okay, he's there. And again, the climax is the same as the first movie. It's a big army of something that they're fighting. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the movie. Okay, what do I like of the movie? I think there's, again, like I said, there are some fun moments, some fun dialogue and quippy dialogue, whatever. There's some, fun ongoing jokes in it. There's the thing with, Quicksilver and Hawkeye where he's like, you didn't see that coming, that whole thing. And it pays off with, spoiler alert, Quicksilver's death, which I don't care about because Quicksilver is not a great character in this movie, so I don't even care about him. I don't really care about the Scarlet Witch either. She's not that great of a character in this movie either. They're just kind of there. Again, there's a bunch of stuff that's just kind of there. It doesn't really add much to it. That's mostly this movie. Yeah, again, there's just so many extra stuff. Another ongoing joke that I liked was the whole, Captain America in the beginning, when somebody says a swear word and he's just language, and then people think it's funny, so they keep making jokes about it throughout the movie. That was kind of fun, and that kind of kept in spirit, the same spirit that the first movie had, but there was just little moments of that. And the rest of it's just kind of boring and just boring nonsense that I don't care about, and that's it. I like scenes like the scene where they're all trying to pick up Thor's hammer. That's a good scene. That's a fun scene. But the rest of the movie is just a bore. I was falling asleep during this. I mean, granted, I am tired. I didn't get a good night's sleep last night and stuff, but I think that's not the only reason I was falling asleep. I think it's also because this movie's boring. Again, I don't absolutely hate it. I think there are some good moments, but overall, it definitely does not live up to the first movie at all. This one relies more on knowing what happened in the movies, the other movies that come before it, like the other movies of Phase 2, whereas the first one, you could watch it without having seen the previous movies, kind of, but this one you really can't. Like, I was picking up so much moments where I was like, I don't get that. I don't understand that reference unless I've seen the other ones. And I guess there was some of that in the first one, but it wasn't as bad, and it didn't rely on it too much. This one I feel like relies on that a little more, and it just doesn't work. What else was I going to say? There's not a lot more to say about it. It's like Ultron is not that great of a villain. Ultron is like... they try to give him a fun personality, because, everybody loves the funny villain. But it just doesn't work with Ultron. Like, it was fine with Loki, but, like, it doesn't work with Ultron. Ultron should have been, like, this cold, calculated, like, robot who doesn't have quips or anything. Like, who's just, like, logical and scientific, and that's it. That would have made more sense, I think. And... yeah, it wouldn't have been as fun, but still, it just would have made more sense, and just... and then there's no great themes in this movie. I mean, they try to do the whole, the team is being broken apart, and then they have to come back together again. But first off, they already did the team coming together in the first movie, but they didn't do it as well here. It just doesn't feel as earned, because there's not as much setup for it. First movie, there was a lot of, like, throughout the movie, they're never actually a team, and then when they finally come together as a team, it's like this big satisfying moment. In this one, they try to do that, but it just doesn't work. And like, the first one had such a theme of teamwork. Like, that's the big theme, is like, we're working together as a team. This one tries to have the same exact theme without building on it. It doesn't build on anything that the first one established, other than adding a couple new characters. That's all this movie does. Adds a couple new characters and puts, Hulk in his position for Thor Ragnarok, and puts people in their positions for the next movie. That's all this movie does. Adds a few characters and puts them in the position they need to be for the next few movies. No, nothing else that this movie does that's important. It's just... It's not even an age of Ultron. It's like a few days or something, or like a week of Ultron. It's not even an age. I don't like... the more I talk about this movie, the more I don't like it. Like, the more I'm realizing how much I don't like it. I'm probably not going to rewatch this movie again unless I have a good reason to. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to see it again. It's just boring, and there's nothing that great about it. It's kind of let down, because I remember when this movie was first coming out, I loved the trailer. I was probably... when did this movie come out? 2015, I believe? So I was probably about 16 at the time, I believe. When this movie first came out, I remember I was really excited for it. The trailer looked great. It made it look like this kind of new movie. They're taking it in an interesting, darker direction. They're trying to do this interesting new direction, but then it just continues more of the same that the first movie did, but doesn't do it nearly as well. And that's where this movie really fails. And it's so bogged down by a bunch of extra stuff, extra scenes that are just boring, that I don't care about. Like, when it gets to the action's alright, but before that, it just is monotonous, and just, it's a chore to get through this movie. The first one, I was watching it and I was enjoying it the whole way through, except for maybe like a little bit at the beginning and stuff. But this one, it was like, I was enjoying moments here and there, but most of it was just boring. And that's all I have to say about this movie. Yeah, so hopefully Infinity War does a much better job. I'm looking forward to it. I'm thinking it's going to do something interesting, something new. It's not just going to do the same thing that this one did, the same thing over and over again like this one did. I hope this new one, Infinity War, does something new. And obviously the whole pull of the Infinity War movie is the juggling of a million characters at once. That's like a big thing. But still, it's got to be better than this movie. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that movie. So let me know in the comments what you think of Avengers: Age of Ultron, and also let me know what you think of the first Avengers movie, and let me know what are your expectations for Infinity War. I haven't seen it yet. I will hopefully this weekend, as long as it's not sold out, because it very well might be, because it's the next Avengers movie, so of course it's probably going to be sold out. But so I'm going to try to see it this weekend, if not, sometime next week, and we'll get a review out as soon as I can. Let me know in the comments what your expectations are for that. Are you excited for that or not? I don't know. But anyways, that is about all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. I spoil loyal fans, I foil your plans and leave fluids leaking like oil pans. My coiled hands around this microphone are lethal. One thought in my cerebral is deeper than a jeep full of people. MCs are feeble, I came to cause some pandemonium. Battle a band of phony MCs, a stand-alone one. Imitator, intimidator, stimulator, simulator of data, eliminator. There's never been a greater. Since the burial of Jesus,